Keep standing. Another round for Scott, please. Thank you. Thank you for all the years of service. You are so appreciated and so loved. Again, thank you. Thank you for everything. I'm telling you what. I love this place. Oh, thank you so very much. All right, so what's our talk today? Let's hit that. Still in the ethereal. Funny thing about it is, that was my talk title, and I was so early because I'm usually kind of late about getting my talk titles into the center, and everyone else, Dr. Dale and Dr. Lawyer, they're like, oh, William's talking again. So I came up with this so early. But then something happened. I love this stuff. Just breathe. It's amazing at what this place can do. Side note, it's amazing what this place can do for someone like me, just an average Joe or an average William. Just to live life and be an observer of life and just see things happen around me. But I never got emotionally involved. It always stayed bottled up inside of me until I came here and started learning these teachings from Dr. Ernest Holmes and all the great transcendentalists. To take spirituality from something that is something that's told to you to something that you are in control and you experience daily. So when you see me get emotional just by saying a sentence, it's because I recognize that connection of myself with everything and every one of you here. Now, with that said, we should daily train our thoughts to recognize the Spirit in everything we do, say, or think. There's no other way. To try any other way would be to make a complete failure. Now, the reason why I changed my talk title is because of something that happened to me over the week. Anybody know what this is? We tell you to turn it off every single week, and I know 90% of you don't. That's okay, because I'm part of that 90% myself. But I had a job up 74. A very nice establishment, very well-to-do families and homes, very nice homes. But I couldn't make phone calls from where I was. And you would think that, and it's not in some tiny cove around a bend or something like that where you can't get cell service. But I couldn't get cell service. So we finally switched over carriers. And you know what? I did a test. I went up to where the job site was. Where before I wasn't getting any reception, I got full bars. Unbelievable. So that's where better reception comes from. So no other way to try any other way would be complete failure. Recognize Spirit in everything that you do. When you recognize that divinity that Spirit is, and know that that Spirit is everything, you, by default, have to be divine yourself. Sometimes we don't feel like that, but it still doesn't change the fact that it's true. How to get a stronger connection? Change your carrier. Change how you see life. Change the company you keep, maybe, or married to, or feeding. But the main thing is changing your own connection, your own consciousness. When you see that divinity of who and what you are, even though you may not be right where you want to be, you know that the possibility is there. Spirit, through law being the part of Spirit that creates and manifests from the ethereal and creates the form. God, in all of its aspects, are waiting for us to place our order. The only reason man is limited is that he is not allowed the divine within him to more completely express. God, I love this. So here we go. We know what these symbols are, right? This is what our phone tells us when it has good reception or not. Upper left-hand corner, the one bar. As we go up and up and up, we get stronger and stronger connection. One thing I notice, and I don't know if this is out of context or out of my slide order, but I'm going to talk about it now because I'm right here. You know how we talk about you're in the ditch? When you're in the ditch, meaning you're not at that conscious level of what spirit is, and you're not feeling the way you should be, or you feel like the world's on top of you and there's no way out. You feel like you're in the ditch. That's kind of like that first one right there with the one bar. Then as you become more and more enlightened, you start getting out of the ditch. You start climbing that mountain until you get to the peak. And you don't know what's on the other side. Like the song was saying. What are you waiting for? Take action, like the song says. It ain't about how fast you get there. It's the climb. That's why we're here every single Sunday. That's why I'm here. Heck, I'm a reverend, and I still have to be reminded of who and what I am and how my divinity expresses. Because sometimes I'm not at full bars. I've got one bar. But that's okay. It's okay to forgive yourself. And since that is true, you can forgive others. But like Dr. Joe says, you may forgive others, but you know where the axe is buried. That's funny. I like that. It's funny you don't laugh. But I love that. Yes, we may know where that axe is, but we are so spiritually enlightened as we live and experience this life that it can stay there. Because I see the divinity in each and every person, even those I do not like, even those I don't agree with. I just understand that they have a different perspective on life and their experience. And I honor myself by honoring their choice to live their life how they want to. Who am I? Who are we to place judgment on someone else's thoughts? As long as it's not hurting someone else, it doesn't matter because it's all spirit. There's two sides to every coin. We live in a three-dimensional world. More importantly, probably, we live in 4, 5, 6, 7 dimensions because spirituality is a dimension, I would think. Wouldn't you agree? By knowing that that spiritual self that you are helps evolve, change, or expand the 3 dimensions of where we are, of this experience. Like our phones, when they lose connection, we go into SOS mode. Has anybody had the SOS mode? In the middle of downtown, I'm getting SOS. I'm like, what the heck? How do I not have connection right here in the middle of town? SOS, separation of spirit. That's the spiritual connection of something physical, just a silly little cell phone, and I'm doing a Sunday talk about it. Because SOS is separation of spirit. It's separation because we think it's separation. I'm here to tell you that spirit is always connected to each and every one of us. It's our perception of what reality. It is not reality in and of itself. And since you think that you're separated, or there is a separation, spirit must adhere, and spirit says yes. And spirit gives us opportunities and examples of how there's separation. But because it all unfolds perfectly, it's proving itself by not proving itself. That's a mind blower. Sometimes you just have to turn the phone off and reset. We, on the other hand, should step back and breathe. Sometimes that's exactly what we have to do. How many times have we said here, just step back and breathe, just reset yourself, meditate, garden, whatever it does that fulfills that need of connection where you recognize the divinity of all of this experience, and it allows you to become recentered. That's like turning the cell phone off to reestablish the connection. The signal is always there. Spirit is always there. It's our receptivity to it that changes. How is your spiritual reception? How does it change day to day? I know mine does from one day to the next. Man, I could have 4 bars one day, and the next not even the next day, the next second, I could be at SOS. But I understand that that's just life. I never beat myself up when I get down in the ditch. I recognize that I'm in that ditch, and I love myself enough to where I can just go, oh, here I am. Now what? Like the song says, what are we waiting for? Here's 2 examples. To yourself, how do you read these? Opportunity is nowhere, or opportunity is now here? What are you praying for? That's a good one. What are you praying for? Like the song says, the KC, King and Country, their lyric, this is their line. What are you praying for? Are you praying from a standpoint of desperation? Like you don't believe that Spirit's going to answer your prayer? What are you praying for? Is it that context that you have in your mind when you are praying? I hope it works. I don't know. I just don't feel it. Or are you on an expectant life plan? What are you praying for? What's the next greatest adventure? What is it that you want to experience? Yes, you can pray from a standpoint of, I don't know if this is going to work. Or what I do 99.9% of the time is I'm praying every single day on what I want to experience, how I want my life to unfold, how I want my relationships to go, how I want my granddaughter to grow up. I'm always praying because I know that my thoughts become the things, because Spirit is always with us. Spirit is always connected. So here we are, cell towers. You see them all over the place. It's a nice background. I like sunsets. Or is that a sunrise? There we go. Again, what's the perspective? Am I leading an expectant life, or is this towards the end of my life? It doesn't matter about the age that you are. It's about the mental acuity that you have. How are you living? Because I can tell you what, every single one of us are going to have a transition. Who and what we are, who and what you are, doesn't pass away. It changes states of reality. Again, going into that 4th dimension. Your consciousness remains intact. But this Model 66 Jeep Gladiator may rust away, but the driver, my mind, my spirit, that driver goes on to the next model, to the next experience. You are the repeater. What do you receive from Spirit? How do you broadcast to the world? We are that tower, each and every one of us. A tower is also known as a repeater because it takes a signal from the cell phone and goes to your phone, and vice versa. From your phone to that, and it goes and broadcasts out. That's why it's called a repeater, because it repeats. A little bit of clarity there, because some people that I absolutely love told me that it was a little bit too out there. And if it stays out there, fine, you'll get the gist of it. But you are the repeater. What do you receive from Spirit? What is it that you are getting from Spirit? How are you being fulfilled? Are you being fulfilled? Are you a low bar, meaning you're in the ditch, or are you full bars up on top of the mountain? Better yet, low bars could be the valley. This whole community could represent the ditch. The ditch doesn't mean that you're by yourself. You could be in a whole community of like-minded thinking that lack in limitation or what's happening now. I'm expecting lack in limitation. Say amen to that. Heck no. That's not an amen. That's a hell no. Or I can get out of the valley, start climbing the mountain, and get up to, what's that trim? And get on top of the mountain with my cell phone going, I've got full service. I am connected to Spirit. I am not relying upon who's in this valley, what's happening, because I am in control of my life. You are in control of your life. Don't let your friends bring you down to their valley. You stay on your conscious level of the mountain. You get full reception. Now, how do you broadcast to the world? Great, you got full reception. Now what? How are you bringing love and enlightenment and expansiveness to the world? This place right here, we talk about it every single week or every single month, how we are the beacon of this valley. We are a place to become enlightened. We don't tell you what to think. We teach you how to think. So my question to you is, how do you broadcast to the world? I know I have to take accountability for what I do. Sometimes what I broadcast isn't what I'm proud of. But I recognize that I'm down in the valley, and I'm smart enough and enlightened enough and honest enough with myself to know that I need to get out of the valley and get back on that mountaintop. We all have better reception. Now what? Thank you for your time.